Howdy everyone, welcome back to the Luna Geeks Out channel. Exciting day today because we are back with another Isiliel reaction, this time the track Genesis, which should prove to be quite the fantastic track. The last one we checked out, Scion Kingdom, was phenomenal, and then of course the other stuff I've heard from this project as well has been great. So I have some very high hopes for this, looking forward to hopping into it. I feel like there's something else I was going to say, and I forget what. I don't know what I was going to say. I don't know what I need to say, so let's just go ahead and hop into the reaction. Cool guitars so far. That percussive stuff in there, whatever it is, really cool sound. Okay, this is a lot heavier than I was expecting. That bass! That is, oh, that is, raw. Oh, I loved how that ended off. Good, I don't know what word I'm looking for, it's good. Went a little symphonic there. Great shift in the track. That was awesome. This section again. Nice. Great drum beat right there. Good force with that. Switching it up. This almost, for a second, almost reminded me of Grabenlieder by Known Fever. The bit where you've got the machine gun, and then it switches into drum beat and then riff on top of that. Very epic sounding here. This is great. Again, those drums giving me Known Fever vibes. Now, that guitar right there. That was full black metal for a second. Like, I know this is more sort of Melodeath inspired, but that went full black metal for a second. I'm very happy about that. Beautiful outro to that one. Good fade out as well. Yeah, that was cool. That was cool. I still think nothing's beaten Komyo Kishi, which I'm still not confident on the pronunciation of for me yet, because that's just a beautiful track right there. It gives me some Agaloch vibes. But this came pretty close. Surprisingly heavy, good melodic elements in there, fantastic vocals as expected. Good twists and turns, guitar solo. Oh, there's a lot of stuff to love about that one. Now, before we talk more about the music, we of course need to discuss the lyrics and a few things. Before we discuss the lyrics, one, I want to give a major shout out and major thank you to Chaco, hopefully I'm saying your name right, from the Homicidals Discord server, for providing me with the English translation of this. While there are English captions available on the music video, for whatever reason my YouTube is bugged at the moment and I'm unable to access pretty much any caption transcripts at the moment. Even on videos I was able to do that in the past, so I was unable to grab them from there, which is what I normally do. They were kind enough to provide me with a text file of the lyrics translated, so thanks to them we're actually able to do this section. Two other things. One, I'm unsure if there's any sort of ongoing lore with Isiliel that we're seeing in the video. I can see how the video ties into what we're seeing in the lyrics. I'm not sure if it ties into some of the other Isiliel videos we've seen, and I'm unsure if there's any sort of overarching story with the album, anything like that. So we're just going to look at this through the lens of the song. If there is an overarching story, you'll have to forgive me. I don't know about it. I don't know what it is, so I can't comment on that. And the other thing is there's a few concepts put forth within this song that I have what I could barely even describe as a rudimentary understanding of. So you'll have to forgive me for some fairly surface level explanations of things. If I get some stuff wrong, just comment down below, let me know, correct me on it. Yeah, there's gonna be a few things that I'm just not gonna explain super in depth here. But with all of that said, let's hop into talking about these lyrics. Starting right at the beginning, Samsara, continuing unabated. I had to look this up. Essentially, to greatly summarize it, it's basically just the idea of the sort of cyclical nature of everything, if you will, ideas of life, death, rebirth, so on and so forth. A lot of that tied together. And if you look at the second, or look at the stuff continuing after that, locked in the shackles of ego, an endless cycle of rebirth. So you get that idea expanded upon. The shackles of ego, of course, your own mind, your own opinion of yourself, perhaps an inflated opinion locked within that, within sort of your view of yourself and obsession with that. A lot of ideas like that contained within there. To know my own reason to exist, longing to embrace eternally immutable truth, so that they're longing for something correct, something that cannot be proven false, something that is, there's not really a better word to use, something that is true. My scream descends silently into the abyss, an idea of being trapped within nothingness. You're screaming out into the void, and there is nothing there to respond. I am tempted to say that may be a Lorna Shore reference, Into the Abyss. Pretty sure that was one of their songs. I might be going crazy. I don't think that's the case, but I hope it's the case, because Lorna Shore is great, and that would be cool if it was. But then, penance alone is not enough. Karma rides up to ensnare, cleaving the chains of hatred before I enter the book of the dead. Karma, of course, the idea of sort of retribution in a sense, but basically ties into sort of ideas of reaping what you sow. What you put out into the world is what you get back, that kind of thing. So that they're whatever would be appropriate for them to receive, whatever punishment that may be, is coming up to grab them, cleaving the chains of hatred before I enter the book of the dead. What I'm grabbing there is they're cutting off this sort of hatred and this pain and such that's captured them, that is holding them down, that is limiting them before they die, before they enter the book of the dead, and getting sort of a second chance. Burning with hope, I yearn for the pure land. Ties a bit back into longing to embrace eternally immutable truth, just the idea of hoping for something better. Until this prayer has been granted, I will never close my eyes. So, again, hoping for this sort of reward, if you will. I'll never close my eyes. I'm unsure of any deeper meaning that may be there. Live, these sacrifices will endure eternally, so what they're doing now, the sacrifices they're making, are going to have these eternal rewards, essentially. Believe this testament to existence will never be erased. So the mark they're leaving, the path they're going down, so on and so forth, is leaving. You know, it is something that is going to last. Escaping from the maelstrom of kleshas while this impermanent world still remains. Another thing I had to look up. Kleshas, quoting from Wikipedia, klesha is a Sanskrit word meaning impurity, corruption, or poison. It's basically a mental state that, quoting from Wikipedia, clouds the mind and leads to unhealthy actions. So, just the mental turmoil that we face and different aspects of that. Escaping from the maelstrom of that, you know, a storm of these things whirling around and causing all this chaos and destruction. They're escaping from that while this impermanent world still remains. There's still all of this out here, but that's not permanent. There's something more on the way. Exercising the depravity that strangles the soul. So not just getting rid of those issues and those struggles and those negative things, exercising them. It has an extra layer of force and even violence, perhaps alongside with an extra layer of spirituality. So a lot of different layers there. Seeking the path of enlightenment, the way shall be opened at the brink of death. So, upon death, as they reach that point, they'll see the truth, is what I'm gathering there. Nirvana is at hand. Nirvana, of course, enlightenment. Raise your eyes to the vast, unending cosmos, seeing all that is out there. Until enlightenment is attained, never shall I sleep. So, again, they're going to continue down this path to achieve this thing. Live, these sacrifices will endure eternally. This testament to resolution will never be erased. Same ideas there. Against anguish that continues till the crack of doom, only this love can prevail and will shine forevermore. So, ending on a positive note that, you know, against these horrible things, you know, anguish and such, there's this prevailing love that will endure, that will shine forevermore, that will leave a lasting mark. That is what remains in the end, and that was what is remembered in the end. So a positive note to end an at times dark song off on. All in all, this is actually pretty similar to the last song, with ideas of hoping for something more in the future. A lot of sort of religious and spiritual elements contained within here. I don't know if this is intended to be sort of an actual representation of those ideas, or more so using those ideas to paint a more metaphorical image. Again, probably just not knowing what all is going on through this whole album, this whole project. But regardless, some fantastic stuff, great ideas of sort of fighting back against your own inner struggles and the outer struggles of the world, and those negative things, hoping for and fighting for something more, some new enlightenment, as we see in there, a better future, attempts to sort of cleanse yourself in many ways as well. So a lot of good stuff tied up within that song. All in all, very cool stuff there. Switching into talking about the music, whoa, that was fantastic. Starting off with the vocals, as expected, they were fantastic. Himari is, I'd say, one of the best vocalists out there in the alt-idol world right now. Just an incredible voice. This one, I think, really showcased. There was a sort of ethereal nature to her voice within this, a sort of almost dreamlike quality at times that I really liked. Really fit the slight symphonic vibes we got at a few points, and despite this being like a very heavy song, it would have worked super well with some harsh vocals. her voice blended really well with everything in here. This was some of the best vocals I have heard from her, for sure. And again, while I still prefer what was going on in Komyokishi, I like the vibes there. That's the kind of song that one was sort of written for me. These are just all really good songs. That was what it was made for me, you know. Okay, I forgot what I was saying. Well, I prefer the vocals in that track. The ones here were fantastic, and I think there is an argument to be made that they were better vocals. They again, just fantastic. The guitar, whew, that was great. The riffs, incredible. Easily the best riffs I've heard from this project so far. And incredible, insanely heavy. Was not expecting this to get as heavy as it did. I loved that. That was fantastic. And then, of course, we had we had the guitar solo that popped up. That was super cool. Loved that. That was great. Highlight of the song for me. We had that bit towards the end that had the more sort of black metal vibes that I mentioned. That was really cool. I loved that. Loved that. All in all, fantastic guitar work in this. The tone was just, oh, it was perfect. The mix on this was incredible. Loved the guitar. The bass, oh, only really stood out in that one bit, but fantastic throughout. Such a raw tone on it. Loved it. I love a good raw mix with some death metal. There's good reason one of my favorite death metal albums is The Great Adventure by Minenfeld. It's just this very raw album that you could argue is a bad mix, but it works really well for the theming of it. Here we had that raw bass, and I loved it. I loved it. That was fantastic. Fantastic. That was best bass I have heard in a good while. Blows the bass from the last track we checked out. Whatever the Ive track was, I want. Blows the bass in that out of the water. That was some great bass. The bass in this was fantastic. Wish it was a little more apparent throughout the entirety of the song, but the moments it did pop up in were fantastic. Then we have the drums. Loved those. Like I said, there are a couple points that reminded me a lot of Graben Lieder by Kanonenfieber, of all things. Was not expecting that. I got a few Kanonenfieber vibes throughout. But it was some fairly straightforward death metal drums. Nothing too crazy, perhaps, but very, very good. Fits with everything else. There's some fantastic stuff. Loved the drums. And then I think there were a few slight symphonic elements we got in here. Subtle, but I loved them. Those are fantastic. Those brought the song over the edge. Those are, as I haven't said in a while, but I used to say quite a lot, those are the spice on top of everything else that made it something a little extra. Loved that. All in all, fantastic song. I think definitely a contender for the best song I've heard from Isiliel so far. Again, Komyokishi is still my favorite, but there is a difference between preferring one song and saying that another one is definitely the better song. I think there is a good argument to be made that this one is better. This was a fantastic song. It had just, insane heaviness, but it had these more melodic and like I said, sort of symphonic sections as well. It knew when to be super hard and heavy and fast, and when to lighten up a little bit. So many different sections into that it kept it exciting. It shifted around a lot, which I absolutely loved. This was just, there were surprises packed away, but it felt very, in a sense, not expected or not standard, but it felt a lot like Isiliel as well, despite being a different song than what I've heard so far. Which is always impressive to see pulled off. All in all. Fantastic track. One of the best ones I've checked out in a good while. This was super cool. I'm glad to have gotten the opportunity to react to it and to talk about it a bit. This was fantastic. But I am out of things to say on the track, so you all know the drill. It is time to figure out what we will be checking out next time. No long rant today. Let's just give it a spin and see what we get. Would it be nice to stick with the metal? Would it be nice to switch over to something else? We'll see what gets sent our way. Is that the Raven Age? TRA1, the Raven Age. I have no idea what song that is, but it's the Raven Age. Great sort of melodic metalcore band. I quite like their stuff. The last track we checked out from them was Solid Knot. Not my favorite from them by any means, but it had some good stuff in it. I've got some high hopes for this. Looking forward to checking it out. Lyrically, it should be a fantastic track. So a lot of good stuff to look forward to with that. Yeah, the Raven Age. Good. I don't know what words I'm saying. Good stuff, all in all. But I am out of things to say, so that's going to do it for the reaction. Thank you all for watching. Be sure to like if you like, to subscribe if you want to see more, and comment down below with your own thoughts of the track, any feedback or criticism, or anything you want me to react to. In the description, link to the music video so you can go check it out, support the artist, link to my Isiliel reactions playlist, my alt idol reactions playlist, my rock and metal reactions playlist, and my Japanese music reactions playlist, so you can check out some similar content from me, and then links to my Discord server, Instagram, Twitter, Spotify playlist for all the songs I've reacted to, at least the ones up on Spotify, and my link tree which has all my other stuff in it in case any of that interests y'all. Anyways, like I said, that's going to do it. So once again, thank you all for watching, and until next time, I'll be seeing ya.